Hi and welcome to Knit All the Things. My name is Laurel. I'm also known as West Maven on Instagram, Ravelry, and Tier. If you're new, this is a space where I talk about all the things I'm knitting, all the things I want to knit, all things yarn, just all the things. And if you're returning, welcome back, knitting bestie. I can't wait to catch up with you. In this week's episode, we are going to talk a little bit about my summer knitting plans. Specifically, things that I already kind of have in my queue, things I've cast on already. A couple of things we've talked about. I actually have a brand new cast on that we haven't even discussed yet, and it's almost finished. So grab your knitting, get cozy, and let's go. Okay, so I thought I would talk a little bit about my summer knitting in general, as well as some of my plans. But first, let's talk about what I'm wearing. So I am wearing the Ranunculus by Midori Hirose. This is my third one I knit. I used Illimani Sabri, the fingering weight. There's two. One's kind of like a DK worsted and one is a fingering weight. I really love this top. I actually think of the three that I have, this one gets worn the most. And so much so that I kind of just want to get the exact same yarn and make a long sleeve version as well. So I just have kind of more options with it. But it has this beautiful lacy yoke. I'm trying to think. I can't remember. I think the original might have bobbles, but this one doesn't. And I just really like how this one turned out. I think it's really flattering. I kind of like to wear it off the shoulder. Yeah, and I believe that this is size 5, so it has quite a bit of positive ease. I think most of the ones that I've made all size 5, which I believe the original pattern was only one size, and it was whatever that size was. So that's what I'm wearing. The cool thing about this pattern is that it comes in, I believe, sizes from baby all the way up to 6XL. So you could make them for gifts. I actually am debating on making another one as part of my summer knitting plans. What else can I say? I typically knit mine longer than the pattern calls for because this is quite a cropped sweater and I just don't really wear cropped sweaters. And this one I did not really do sleeves. So I put the stitches aside and then I believe that when I went back to do the sleeves, I just bound off. I might have like picked up one row and then bound off immediately. So that is kind of what I did with this. And yeah, I highly recommend this pattern. I think everyone's knit one, if not more than one. And there's a good reason for it. It's really large gauge, so you see a lot of progress right away. The yoke is very entertaining, and then if you do it cropped, then it's very short body and you're done. So it's very exciting to do because you're really seeing a lot of progress. So if you have been maybe working on a lot of like fingering weight sweaters and you just want something that you can see like right away, this will be a good project. Okay, so let's talk about what I cast on. Okay, so I cast on the Look at My Holes pattern by James Watts in the Undine yarn by Ritual Dyes. This is their DK weight of that yarn. They also have a fingering weight. I have knit a couple of things, I think, using the fingering weight, but this is my first time using the DK weight, and I have to say I really loved it a lot. I actually think I prefer it to the fingering weight of the same yarn. This is the colorway Obsidian, and I just absolutely love how this is turning out. In my little delusional head, Ritual Dyes had a store opening celebration and James Watts, the designer, was going to be there, and I thought, oh, I'll just pick up some of this yarn and have it done by the time that happens. Well, we had birthdays, end of school, all kinds of things happening, and it just wasn't, again, delusional thought that I had that I would finish it. But I am almost done. I just have to do the hem and pick up the sleeves, which are short, and I think I will have this wearable for the next podcast. It is a organic linen, I believe, in cotton blend. It is an organic cotton and linen blend. It's 60% cotton, 40% linen. I think it is such a nice feeling yarn. I actually believe that I prefer the DK over the fingering weight, and I just really think this is going to wear so nicely. I saw in their store they made this in Durirum Natura's cotton yarn. If I can think of, I can't think of it right now, but I'll put it on the screen. They had it displayed in their store and it was much thicker than the pattern calls for. The original pattern is a sport weight pattern, but I really liked the way the thicker yarn in this pattern looked. This is not going to show you too much, but it, I think, really makes the kind of netted mesh pop having that thicker yarn. So I'm really excited to get this done. And it has like a very nice ribbed collar and a little bit of ribbing on the bottom. So I think it'll just be a very kind of bold looking piece, especially with like a tank top underneath. So this is how far I've made it, and I really wanted to get it done. But again, like I said, I just had higher expectations of my time. Maybe I forgot that I had kids and other things going on. Who knows, when I thought I could cast it on and finish it. But I am just about done. I did, modification wise, lengthen the body a lot because the original pattern is like a very short body and then ribbing. And I think I lengthened it by like 6 or 7 inches because I just don't do cropped. So far I have used 1 ball of yarn for a size medium. I have this much of my second ball left. I would say it's like maybe 3/4. And I just am about to start on the hem and then finish up the sleeves and the collar. So it doesn't use a ton of yarn, which is really nice. The Undine is $26 or $28 skein. And so for the medium, it isn't a spectacularly expensive sweater to knit. And of course you could get less expensive yarn, but I really liked their color Obsidian, and I really was excited to cast this on, and I'll be even more excited to wear it when it's finished. I'm really hoping that it being linen and extra holey, that it's going to be like a great all of the summer top. Sometimes I don't really feel like, I know there's a lot of knitted wool tops and things, and I know that wool is, you know, somewhat temperature regulating, but I prefer to wear my linen cotton blends during the summer. So that is my Look at My Holes by James Watts. Almost done. Let me know in the comments below if you have knit one of those before. So with summer knitting plans, I always feel like I tend to knit quite a bit more in the summer, and I think there's a lot of reasons for this. When my kids are home from school, they don't have camps or anything, we do go to the parks a lot and do different things, like a lot of outdoor activities. And so I'll bring my knitting along. A lot of my summer knits tend to be a little bit more simple because I feel like they're easy to keep track of if I'm throwing them down and picking them back up, and just making them a little bit more simple. I also really try to make it a goal to make my kids a sweater for the fall. I haven't started really planning that, but that is kind of in the back of my mind. I also have a friend that is having her first boy. It's her 3rd child, but first boy. And so I have been kind of looking at cardigans for kids, and some of the ones that I really like, these are all actually worsted weight. These are all worsted weight sweaters. So first off, we have the Holger cardigan by PetiteKnit. I thought this one was really cute. I think stripes are cute on kids especially. And then you can pick a couple of fun colors or do it even multiple colors. And I really think this can turn out super fun, especially if maybe you have them pick a color and it like clashes with the rest of them. I think it would look really good in this cardigan if you have some choosing power as well. The gauge on this one is 20 stitches, and again, all of these are worsted weight. The next up, which is one of my favorites and a pattern that I have been wanting to knit since I first saw it, it's probably 10 years ago. I don't know when it came out, but when I first saw this one, I really was drawn to it. I especially, well, it's called the Gramps. This is by Tin Can Knits. It's a 20 stitch gauge as well, and I especially really like the little elbow pads. I don't know why, but I think it is so darling. I don't know how complicated pattern is, but I believe with most of their patterns, including this one, it goes from baby all the way up to 6XL. So this maybe is in the running for one of those sweaters. The next one is the Gingersnap. This is by Kristen Rettig. It is a free pattern and it is a 19 stitch gauge. So this is a free pattern. It is for 1 year and then it says 6 months. So it is very similar to the Holger. It's a bit different, I think, at the collar and the stripes are a bit bigger, but it is similar. I did think this was a really cute option. It is a free pattern. There is a paid pattern for bigger kids, but I thought this would be super cute and it would be a nice stash buster. And then in the actual projects that people have done, they've made like tiny sweaters for like stuffed animals that match. It's super cute. So you can get really creative with this one, but I thought it was a really cute top as well. Some people also just used like the stitch count and did color work and just kind of modified the pattern to fit their needs. The next one is the Little Opa by Lisa Chemery, and I thought this one was super cute too. I really love the shawl collar of this one. This one has a really cute shawl collar and pockets. I don't know really how practical the pockets are, but they're super cute. This one is a 19 stitch gauge, and there is some errata on this one that she has like highlighted, so make sure that if you are knitting this that you're checking for that. I believe, yeah, this one also almost kind of has those faux elbow pads. The way that they did them on this sweater is by having like garter stitch in that section. But either way, it's really cute. I think that it would make a super fun kid sweater. It is 3 months to 10 years old size-wise. And then that's it. So that's kind of what I'm kind of thinking in terms of sweaters. I really think that I've made my kids like a bunch of pullovers, so doing a cardigan would be really nice. For my friend who I'm making something for, so far she has a Little Sisters romper by PetiteKnit and a Felix, not Felix, maybe it is the Felix sweater by Tin Can Knits, and they're both neutral colors, so I want to give her a third option that's something completely different. So I thought maybe a cardigan, because her new baby will be able to wear the other two, and I think I'm going to shoot for about a size 9 months, 6 to 9 months, because I know that the other ones are like 6 months and I think 9 months, so maybe a third option that's a little bit bigger, just so that she can use them all. So that is kind of what I'm thinking in terms of kids cast-ons. And now let's talk a little bit about my next planned knit. So I recently finished this cardigan. It is the Polka Dot Summer Cardi by Midori Hirose. And I will just throw it over what I'm currently wearing so you can see it. I talk a lot about this one in previous podcasts, so I'm not gonna go over it too much. But I am about to start a cast on for a new one. I'm going to take this off because it is I think it is the warmest day so far in Portland. We're not going to wear that right now. But I am going to make this again in Wandering Flock using their cotton lino yarn. The yarn is 35% organic cotton, 30% mulberry silk, 20% linen, and 15% baby alpaca. It is sport weight. The yardage is 28 yards, 300 meters, and this is in the colorway Khaki. So I balled up one already, but this is the yarn. I think it's really pretty olive green, and I'm really looking forward to making another one. So basically you can get away, this is a size medium, and I lengthened the sleeves and the body. But if you did not do that and you wanted to make this, you can get away with using 3 skeins of this, which is also what you're gonna find if you look at the yardage meterage. You're gonna find that same information that you could just use 3. But because I'm going to lengthen the sleeves, I am using 4. I really enjoy knitting this. A couple of things that if you are gonna cast on with me, let me know. Tag me in this. Tag me if you have Instagram posts or anywhere. Send me a picture of what you're working on so I can see it. I would love it. But one of the things that you need to do right off the bat is when you're casting on the back first, and at some point it has you place 2 markers, I think right after cast on, and it's basically marking these points right here, which is where the like back of the neck is going to be. So you put 2 stitch markers here. Don't put the stitch markers on your yarn, like on your knitting. You're going to put it just attached to your knitting, not attached to your cord, because later on when you go to pick up stitches for the front, that will have been marked for you, if that makes sense. So that is a quick tip if you are thinking of casting one on with me, to do that. Otherwise, I really like so far how this is wearing. I do want to say the yarn feels like it's just getting softer and softer, and I do think the alpaca does have a tiny tendency to pill just ever so slightly, but for the most part, I've worn this all the time, and I barely have seen any like wear. Maybe on the very edges, there's just a couple little things right on the edge of the sleeve. But other than that, I think it's wearing really nicely. I'm looking forward to having a second one so I can wear it, and I really think this will be a really nice color. I have 1 more sweater's quantity of yarn. I don't think I'm going to do 3 of these, but I'm kind of looking for a project to make with it. I have the color chocolate, and I think I'm going to make some sort of pullover with it. And again, I have made a pullover already with it, and I ended up using like 3 and just a little bit of a skein. So because I like very long sleeves and a pretty good length body, so I haven't found that pattern yet, but I'm hoping in the end that I have leftovers of this, I have leftovers of a burnt sienna, and then of the chocolate to make a striped something or another. I think cardigan. I'm all of a sudden into cardigans. Don't ask me why. Yeah, the baby cardigans. This is a cardigan. I think I recently have discovered that purling isn't as painful as it once was for my hands. Maybe I'm getting a little bit better at not being so tense when I'm purling, or what, I don't know. But I am enjoying knitting stockinette if I have to flat. And this particular pattern, having the polka dots, if you will, really just makes it interesting, because you're kind of like, oh, it's the polka dot row, and it just makes it, I don't know, interesting to knit. You have a couple of, you know, plain stockinette rows in there, and I just really like it. I really, really like how it turned out, and I've been wearing it so much. I know that I will wear another one. I think, like I said, the green will be a really nice. I don't have any knits in this color. I don't think it's too bad. What else? That's about it for right now. So I'm getting ready to cast that on. I totally encourage you to join me. If you want to, like I said, tag me in photos on Instagram, I'm at westmaven. And if you do that, or you even want to post them on the channel page, you can, and I will share those with everybody, because I always think it's nice to inspire each other with your color choice or whatever, see how you style the sweater. So yeah, just tag me and we will work on that. Okay, let's see. I think that might be all of our knitting chit chat for today. I know it wasn't a super long episode. Again, like with the summer, trying to find balance so that I can spend time with the kids and be super present with them. I find myself staying up a bit late because I am wanting to get my knitting in if I haven't knit all day. And so I'm hoping to, again, like I said, have the look at my whole sweater finished and wearing it next episode. I would be really excited. Let me know if you've knit one, because I feel like that sweater is also very similar to the ranunculus, where people have knit more than one. I think it would be fun to knit it with a bright color next time, like a red or maybe a cobalt blue, but I do think the black will get a lot of wear, so I'm excited to get that done. Until next time, if we are not yet knitting besties, please make sure to hit the subscribe button, and please like this video. It tells YouTube that other fiber enthusiasts like yourself enjoy this type of content. Until next time, make some yarn magic. Bye!